Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. And today we're finally getting to shoot this car. This is known as Havoc. It's a 1970 Dodge Challenger that had its debut at SEMA 2019 in the Meguiars booth. There's not one panel, not 1 inch on this car that hasn't been touched by these guys. The car starts with a foundation of Roadster Shop chassis, which I think is an incredible starting place. I'll pop the hood just to give you guys an idea of the level of absurdity that this car is. This is a 572 all aluminum Hemi, pro-charged, making about 2,500 horsepower. Seriously, 2,500 horsepower. So all the internals have been done on the motor. It's got diamond forged pistons. So the supercharger is a ProCharger F3R direct crank driven charger. I mean, it's completely bonkers. You see the amount of fabrication that went into the shroud here alone. Obviously the car is airbagged. RideTech Shockwave. It's sitting on American Legend wheels. Very cool setup for the car. Again, I love the color that he painted them. There's just such radical contrast here. It's a 20x8 front wheel, 20x15 rear wheel, massive. Front end, he's running a 225 skinny little tire. Rear tires, Mickey Thompson, 20-inch wide. All around, it's got 6-piston bare brakes, 14-inch cross-drilled rotors. It's got a Tremec T56 built transmission, twin clutch, and all the glass is flush mounted. And again, as you walk around the car, you know, just everything you see on this thing has been touched. The lines have been sharpened. I mean, some of the best metal work I've ever seen, to be honest with you, comes from Rob and his Rides by Cam company. They do spectacular work. I'm not personally a big airbag guy. It's, you know, if any of you guys that follow the channel, you've heard me say it before, it's not my flavor. I'm not against it in the slightest. I would just probably never own a car that's airbagged. But gotta admit, it looks pretty mean on this car, how low it squats down. Right now, it's sitting in its lowest kind of parking height. When you raise it up to drive height, it still looks like it's sitting extraordinarily low. Another thing, you know, it's funny, man, with the door handles, there's a lot of different versions of these nowadays, right? Hidden door handles from GTR to Aston Martin. I'm not in love with these, although I like the look. I like how they flush away like this. My only gripe about them, to be honest with you, is you're on a meaty, beefy muscle car that's making 2,500 horsepower, and I've got this tiny, like kind of delicate little door handle. I'm not personally in love with it. And for any of you that I pissed off by saying that, I apologize. I'm not saying they're not cool. I'm just saying it's not my flavor. I'm not really in love. As far as exhaust goes on this, I didn't have a detail on it, but I know they did everything in-house. So it's a full custom exhaust from the header all the way back. That's what these guys do. There's a touch that I think is it's just cool on this car. He's got it here as well as on the front of the car. This car, he did so much cool lighting on the interior. In the engine bay, there's some soft lighting, as well as these logos that light up, which I just think are personally, I just think it's a great touch. It's a very cool one. One of my favorite things on this entire car is on the interior here. I can't think of anyone where I've seen this done before, is how the trans tunnel is running right through the cockpit of the car. It's not hidden under carpet, under any form of interior leather, what have you. It's not buried into a back seat. It's the shape of the trans is running straight through the car. I think that's an extraordinarily cool touch on it. By the way, these guys even do their own interiors in-house, which I'm trying to think of any builders that I know that do that. Typically it's outsourced to someone like Gabe's. These guys do 100% of their interiors in-house, which is mind-boggling. To think that they do everything in-house other than the build of the motor it's not something that you see a lot. I know they went with Dakota digital gauges, which are great looking. It looks like on this car, the way it's set in here, it really does look like it's a one-off custom gauge cluster. And then there's switches everywhere for all different kinds of things. You got, you know, headlights, interior lighting, engine lighting, air, ignition, Everything is push button on here. I like that they inset an iPad into the dash here for controlling a lot of the different functions, especially stereo. And I know he's also worked in some different things from the Ring Brothers, which any of you guys that have followed the channel, you know I'm a massive fan of the Ring Brothers. One that stands out right away is as soon as I saw this shifter, I know this shifter is a Ring Brothers shifter. Coming back to the exterior, there's so much custom fab work that they've done. One of the things I love about the great custom guys is the metal work they do, because it's subtle enough when you're just looking at the car, but then if you were to see this sitting next to a stock Challenger, you're going to notice how sharp this line is that runs down the side of the car, how sharp the lines are at the top, what they've done to the hood here, this whole line that comes through, the flushed in bumper. I mean, look at how clean the gapping is on there. It's their metal work is spectacular. Here's another one from the Ring Brothers. Rob likes to use their hood pin assembly. The other thing on this car is a theme that carries throughout. You'll see it in the engine bay, you'll see it on the interior, dimple die everywhere, which is just a cool touch, man. Again, coming under here, you know how it's here in the shroud, it's on the side covers, it goes into the hood. That theme carries through to the interior. I mean, this is a radical hand-built custom. I wish, like I can't tell you how much I wish we could go drive the car, but this car was finished about a month before SEMA, shipped out here, it showed in the Meguiars booth, came back here. It has not been driven other than they did roll it through SEMA Ignited. And from here, over the next year, it's going to do the show circuit. It'll go to the Grand Nationals here in Pomona. I know they're going to go to Good Guys, Ohio, Del Mar. They're going to do a bunch of the shows with the car. And ultimately, for anybody watching that has the financial wherewithal and the interest in this car will be sold after it does the full show circuit this year. The sale price will be somewhere right around about $500,000. Yes, that's right, I did just say $500,000. Yes, it will be sold for house money. But really a spectacular build, and I love that it's him and his two sons that do all the work. This car got a ton of attention this year at SEMA. It's funny, you know, I'm with a lot of you guys on, like, I like the working man's build, the stuff that I could probably afford, but I absolutely marvel at the work that's done on a car like this. Truly spectacular what these guys do. This is a mind-boggling killer custom that I think the only thing left to do is to fire it up so you guys can hear the glorious sounds that this car makes. All right, you guys, that's it for our shoot of the Rides by Cam 70 Challenger. Complete badass, man. You cannot question the quality of the work that these guys do. I mean, everywhere you look on this car, it is just truly a spectacular build. I look forward to seeing what happens as it goes out to the shows this year and see what kind of attention it grabs. It's going to be fun to see, and ultimately it'll be fun to see what the car actually sells for. And somewhere along the way, I hope we get the fun of getting to drive this car or at least go for a ride in it. But anyways, that is it for our shoot of this wonderful build. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for hanging and watching, and I will see you in the next episode. All right, man, later.